What's up? What's up? What's up? We back again. Another Tuesday, Hollywood on Man Cup Live. You know I got my man gonna be in the background here, but look here, man. I want to tell you all we got another special guest. Oh man, and she is a heck of a racer, boy. And she got these guys in the chokehold right now. But look here, I want to also throw a shout out for my man, for my people over at the SDBA this weekend. I went over in Steele, Alabama. Got a chance to race with some of my friends, Tez Thompson Sr. Put the thing on me in the final round. There's a couple little bikes we had over in 460. Went over there and checked out my motorcycle and everything. Checked the track out. Track is good. Got a few announcements that we're gonna make this week as it relates to our track. Go ahead and bring my man Pinky on, man, because we're gonna talk about a little bit of that before we bring our guests on. Look here, man. I, my man Pinky, bring my man Big Boss on here, man. I know he got something you want to talk about concerning these tracks, man. Yeah. And like I said, I also want to throw a shout out to my man over at Fire Station, the 25 in DeKalb County. We was over there a little bit later on early today, man. My little boy was over there. He was riding with me while I was doing my work, and they gave him a full-scale tour of the fire station. But last weekend, I had my kids with me. I went over and do a little testing on my bike. I had Bryce with me. He was running Super Comfort Street ET. And man, look here, Big Boss still was looking pretty nice, man. I gotta give it credit, man. Still was looking good to that 8th mile. And I think we're gonna have to run that race at an 8th mile, man, instead of a quarter. What you think, boss?
Well, you went over and checked the track out, so you seen what was going on. But like you let them
Mm.
know now, it's gonna be an 8 mile run, in a couple of weeks over there. So you let them know now. You can't do a quarter cause of whatever you feel, but 8 mile is what it is. So you call and you let them know now. But we
Yeah,
got a
and that's
guest
like,
on tonight, though. We got a special guest on tonight, man. This lady
oh
here is
yeah,
hot. Boy, she
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
hot, Jack.
That's right. And another
And I
thing we
told
need
her,
to
I
make.
said, I told her she wasn't at the steel this week. She didn't get to make it down there to Alabama. But she gonna be there in a couple of weeks. But they got some problem with the bike. That track was rough down there in North Carolina. I heard a couple more people had transmission problems, shift fork
Well,
problems.
well,
You even went
you know
down there to
how.
check your bearing, didn't you?
Well, that's kind of the same thing, but as we always say, man, everything takes its time to get back in line. The people at Rockingham, they treated us right. They got a little few more things they need to take care of as it
Right,
relates to getting
right.
track ready for motorcycles and so forth. But they was courteous enough to understand that the second Rockingham race that we gonna have, we actually had to shift it over to Carolina Dragway. So our
House
August
of Hook.
18th through the 20th race that was already scheduled for Rockingham Dragway now gonna take place at the House of Hook in Aiken, South Carolina. So for any of y'all who made any reservations or anything, the 190hookup.com presented by Robinson Industry Transmissions event will take place August 18th through the 20th at Carolina Dragway. Hey, Big Boss, look here, man. Another thing while we at it, man. You got your 28th or 29th event coming up, man. Tell us a little bit about what you got. I heard your daughter got you
Oh,
called out on the flyer, man.
this my 28 fan. At the hometown back here in Nashville. Me and my daughter
Mm-hmm.
got the little thing we started last year. She called me out down there at Huntsville at her race, and we went. We were the best two out of three. She won the first round, and I won the second round, and she got knocked out in the race, so we never did get to meet up again. So we're gonna do it at my race, at hometown. That's what we meant to do it there, but it rained on us, and we went to Alabama. So we're gonna do it at home. We're gonna finish it. We're gonna get to see who the best. So she wants to start it all over now, two or three. I said, shit, we ain't got but one pass. We just do it off the truck. Whoever win off the truck,
Off
win
the
it.
trailer.
So,
Y'all got to go off the trailer.
yeah, off the truck. My bike off the truck. I don't do no testing. I don't got to do all that. It's locked and loaded, man. I ain't
Man,
rode
give
that
people
bike since
advice,
Huntsville
man.
last year. And hey, listen, I ain't rode the bike since Huntsville last year. The bike sitting in the backyard in the trailer. I opened up the trailer today and had to raise the wheelie bars up because the tire done got flat and I didn't want to get a flat spot in it. So I had to pump the tire back up on the thing, man, and blow the tire up. The bike ready to go. I'm going to run it in my race. That's September the 3rd, day before Labor Day. Me and her going
Well,
to get
y'all,
down. She's not ready to put it out there.
so tell them where they can find information. It's gonna be September the 3rd at Music City Dragway
Raceway.
in
That's right.
Nashville, Tennessee. Is that right?
Goodlettsville, Tennessee. Uh, I ain't got the flyer yet. She got the flyer. She know more about the address and all that. I don't know about them numbers. But anyway, I know it's September the 3rd, day before Labor Day. This is my 28th annual. So yeah, man, I've been doing this since she was 1 year old. She 29 years old. So yeah, this is how long I've been doing this, man. So
Man,
yeah,
well, look
man,
here, man.
it's a blessing to be able to race against my daughter. Just maybe one day you'll get to run against your son.
That's that's right. Well, look here, man. I want to make sure you got a little shout out to your event coming up because I know you got a good one coming up
Yeah,
the
but look,
third.
let's get the late on.
We're
Get
gonna
that
take a
late
little
on.
break right quick, and we're gonna bring y'all a very special guest. I ain't even gonna tell y'all who it is, but I'm gonna let her come
No,
on
just don't
herself.
get to the break.
We'll be
Just get it
right
over
back.
with.
That's right. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Oh, we got the camera
There
loaded
you
with
go.
trophies, man. Yeah,
Yes,
good to go.
yes.
Oh man, look here. We got the MPS Pro ET winner, and we have the Snits Racing Top Gas winner from Rockingham Dragway, the one and only Josie Brooks. What's going on, Josie? You have been
Yes.
all the way. Tell them where you
Hello,
from. I don't want to mess it up.
Arcona, Ontario, Canada.
Oh man, look here. So tell us a little bit about who is Josie Brooke. I mean, you show up on the scene all of a sudden out of nowhere, and man, you got the feel in the hand, you got the feel in the headlock right now. So tell us a little bit about who you are, how you get started in drag racing, and what has you coming to these Man Cup events. So that's a long traveling, a lot of traveling.
Long
Well,
way.
I come from a racing family, so my dad got me started with drag racing, and that's where I met my husband. Um, I started wanting to go to Man Cup because of the one and only Mike Konopacki. Um, he's the one that kind of spread the word on those events and how they all work, and so I've been bracket racing, and I got the itch to go do some index stuff. So we started coming out last year, and here we are.
So for you and your husband, how far is it for you to make it to an average Man Cup event? Because I want to let people hear the sacrifice that you make, and the time that it takes for you all to get to the how about the middle of the road event? Like Rockingham is not as far as as Valdosta, I'm sure, but what did it take to get to
No,
Rockingham
Rockingham was about 15 hours for us,
Mm.
and Valdosta?
almost 20.
Mm,
Wow.
mm, mm.
And so with all of that traveling and all the things that you have to consider, the planning and everything, what motivates you? I mean, really, like what really motivates you? I know Mike Konopacki, he's one of the one of the coldest, I mean, one of the best racers. I mean, I say one of the cold-blooded, one of the best racers of all time. And I mean, the guy just can race. I mean, he's a champion, multi-time champion. He loves Kawasaki's. What motivates you to do it? I mean, what's your drive?
Well, we don't have a lot of events geared to the kind of bikes we're running. So to have a home where there's so many of us and the community that we found when we went to our first race last year we went to was at Dragway 42, and right out the gate, just the community at the event was a little bit overwhelming as to how welcoming they were and helpful. And it was our first time trying to do anything like that. Usually we run a fast bracket class with cars at our home track. So, it really just, it's just new and exciting for us and fun.
And if one thing would stand out to you as it relates to racing in the Man Cup, you think it would just be the community part or just a combination of
Yeah, the
everything?
camaraderie for sure. For sure. Everyone has been super welcoming and super helpful. When you're struggling, they're stepping up to the plate. That happens a lot at home too, but there it's perfect strangers coming and, you know, knocking on your door trying to help you out, and you know, it's awesome.
So hubby, I gotta ask you the question. So I know that with the driving, I mean, you started talking about the 15 to 20 hours, boy. I know you putting in some work, and then I know you probably working on
Yeah.
that motorcycle quite a bit. So tell me your side of the story. How about that?
Well, my side of the story, I really like to tune. Yeah, I am a drag racer at heart. Years and years ago, I used to race every weekend. And then I kind of stepped back when we um, expanded into a business ourselves. Kind of got rid of the race car I had, and we got into business. And then for a few years, we just worked and worked and back into it. And up until this year, I just really enjoyed the tuning aspect, and just started building another car for myself to try and get back into it. So, yeah, I really like the tuning aspect, which uh, Top Gas and 460 really intrigues me. So, those are my two goals.
Oh, so
Hey,
y'all gonna you
hey,
got the go ahead,
hey,
Pinky.
hey. Listen, man, she rides good. I give her props. She's a good rider. But that
Yes, she is.
man, he the one now. He tuning that bike like he say. I watch her. She run that thing dead on. She run the same number that she run in Top Gas that she run in ET. So they don't gotta switch nothing. They just running on out through there the same way, man. He got the bike on kill, man. She riding it good. He tuning it good. Then that is. They go at what makes a success. They working
That's right.
together. They working.
That's
That's how they
right.
become
Yeah.
a
So
winner like they is.
after in Rockingham, after we finished the Top Gas final, the bike ran a little bit slower than, you know, 820. So he was
Right.
like, well, I better go figure out what I need to do to get it back down to 820. And I said, hey man, we can just change the dial in.
Right. No, no,
He's like,
no. He don't want
oh
to do
yeah,
that.
yeah, we can do that. So
That's the
we
best.
scrubbed that
That's the
zero off.
easiest tuning is a bottle of shoe polish.
Hey, you know the funny part about that was that you all were already in the tower and you were settling up, and we thought that we were going to be finished with a split and did not get to finish. And then the guy comes in out of the back. Hey, where are you guys at? You can go ahead and run your finals. I think you were in the final with Michael McAllister. Is that right, in Pro ET or something
Yeah,
like that?
he had the bye to the final, and then yeah, I raced him in the final round. Yep, you're right.
That was a pretty good race. He was pretty good that weekend. He got two runner-up trophies. You got two winner trophies, and I think that he got two runner-ups, and you end up with two champion trophies of the weekend. I mean, you had a really good weekend at Rockingham. I mean, and then we go pull your name and you win the diaper. I mean,
That's
how
right.
I
about that?
know.
That's
I
right.
know. I said make that 3 wins at Rockingham.
Yes,
Three
yes,
wins at
yes.
Rockingham. Well, look here, we're gonna take a quick break, and I'm gonna come back with some more questions for you all. All right. All right, before we get too far ahead, so what I want to know is when and what actually got you into drag race. I know we kind of just threw it out there, but there's a better story to it. I know that you can tell it for me. So let's start with the when and the what. How about that?
I think it was like 1996 was the first time my dad asked if I was interested in driving his race car, and so I started then. I was a 1974, I think, Camaro that ran low 13s in the quarter mile, and we did that for a few years. And then honestly, we had friends that had motorcycles, and we would go to the bike days with them, and we had nothing to do but hang out and watch. So my husband bought this bike for himself to race,
Yeah.
and he didn't get many opportunities, because once I started trying to ride it, learning to ride it, I was kind of all about it. It hit me way harder than racing the car did. So yeah, that was it. He got fired from the bike, and I went to the bike full time.
So I know for a fact I drove cars first, and then I transitioned to motorcycles. So explain to me when you say the feeling that overtook that desire to drive a car from the motorcycle. What was the experience that you actually felt that made you want to make that transition? I know it made mine, but I want to hear what yours was.
For me, I think it was you can see so much more of what's going on. What do you want to say? You can see so much more of what's going on. You can feel it. There's not near as much to worry about on a motorcycle as there, like when I used to come back when I raced my husband's car a few times, he had so many questions. What was this gauge at? What was that at? What was this doing? What was this happening there? And on the bike, let go of the button, and when you see the little light, you push the button, and that's all. If you want to know more, you have to hook up the computer. So it kind of works nice for me.
So you're not auto shifting is what I'm hearing.
No.
You shifting it up every time. That's awesome. I mean, that's some serious consistency. Big boss, we talk about that all the time. The people who auto shift and the ones who don't auto shift, but the consistency that you have running 820 index, not auto, and that's a heck of a feat right there.
That,
I'd say that
that
myself.
sure is. To watch the track and watch the light too, yeah, that's old school there.
Yeah, real old school. Yeah. And so, Dan, yourself, how did you feel about her taking your ride, one, and now you had to transition from the car tuning to the motorcycle tuning? How did that make you feel? Because I know cars, it just seems like cars just take so many people, one, especially when the cars get really fast, you have to have the parachutes packed. You got all the spark plugs. You got all this other stuff that goes along with it. It takes up a lot of space. How was the transition for you as well?
Well, for me, it took a little while for me to transition because I had absolutely no clue how a bike worked, or I had no clue that the transmission was included in the same cases and you had to take it apart. Like, I knew nothing at all. So
Right.
yeah, when we started out, we started out with a GS 1150, and it just slowly started to learn more and more about the bikes themselves. I have to credit a lot of people: Jim Bernier, good friend of mine, Jeremy Van Baslar, and many others. Just the two that still, are a pretty big part of our program are those two guys. And yeah, when we get into trouble in the pits, and if you need a motor change or anything like that, those guys are there to help you. But that is, when you talk about bikes versus cars, that's the big difference. You
Right.
can, if you break a motor and oil down a racetrack, you could probably change the motor and be ready for next round before they clean up the oil. So, which doesn't happen very often anymore because of our diapers, which is a great rule, and we've always ran them. But
Right.
yeah, it's to me, there's not as much work, like you said.
Right.
It's a lot less, and yeah, I think it's great. It really is. I enjoy it.
And so when was your first introduction to motorcycle drag racing period, not just motorcycle drag racing? Sounds like y'all introduction to drag racing and motorcycles came briefly when Josie just said it, but she just took the
Yeah.
reins from you immediately. So your motorcycle experience riding, and I guess that didn't ever last very long. But when were you introduced to drag racing in totality overall?
Well, I didn't even have a driver's license yet, so I guess my uncle Tony had a race car when I was young, and we'd go to the racetrack and watch him, and so that's really where the bug started. mostly going to the racetrack, and I can credit him to not being able to retire yet. So then when we transitioned into the bike, I raced it for a year when Josie was pregnant with our daughter. And then after that, she got on and she said, that's it. So then I would just race it once a year on Father's Day at the bike event here at home. And yeah, as soon as it got down to, I don't know, I think it was like 9 seconds flat, I couldn't keep my feet on the pegs anymore. I got really long legs and they're flopping in the wind. And so, yeah, that was enough for me. And I just got behind the tuning and let her take over. And she does a
Did you
great
hear what
job
he said?
anyways. Much better than me.
He said his leg was flying in the wind at 9 seconds and she run 820s. So you
That's what
see
I
how
was.
that would come out?
820s. Yeah, on the throttle
Listen,
stuff. She runs
but
770s.
listen here, no. But she had to be the one to ride because they work together as a package in the way it goes. So okay, reverse it. Say if he ride the bike, then what's she gonna do? She gonna tune it? So she gotta do what he
No.
do. And he know more, so she don't know that. So she gonna let him do that and she ride. And then that's how they
Perfect.
got it going on. They can't break the combination.
Now I seen that bike. I think the first time you came out, I seen you almost running in 7 seconds.
Yeah, we do. That bike, full out, it'll run high 760s.
Yeah, I thought I seen that bike run really quick at drag rate 42 when you first brought it over here, brought it down there,
Yeah,
and I
oops.
guess you decided that was a little quick for bracket racing, and you decided to find your way into an index, which 820 is a very good index class. I don't know what your 8th mile numbers were, but what are you thinking about with 460? I heard y'all mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've wanted to run 460 for a number of years now. A friend of ours was actually building a motorcycle, and I told him, you should hurry up and get it done, and I'd ride it in 460 for him. And he never got it done. And then this winter, he sold us that bike. So we're trying to get that put together and see if we can get to 460.
So you ready for that? That's another level of competition. That's a quicker bike, and the competition is really stiff up there. It seems like.
I know, it's crazy, right? That class is just unbelievable when you look at those qualifying sheets, and yeah, it's so exciting.
Okay, well, we're gonna take one more break, and then we're gonna come back and conclude our interview with the one and only, our top gas, #1 points runner right now, Josie Brooks, all the way from Canada. Her and Big Dan up there. Dan the tuner. Dan say he ain't running no quicker than 9 seconds though. But we'll be
That's
right
right.
back. All right, look here. There we go. Josie in the water. Got the tires smoking over there. Look here. It's been a pleasure having you on tonight. I know a lot of people want to know who is Josie Brooks. You know, all of a sudden you done came to the scene, whooping up on some tail and everything. But it's all good. I'm for sure they're gonna be looking forward to. That's you and your daughter right there, Rockingham, correct?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Victory Lane. See there, we got some photos of you.
It is.
Double up,
So that's my
Rockingham.
mother-in-law with us that made the trip.
That
So
picture, that's a
it's
nice
such a
photograph.
beautiful thing right there. To have drag racing is like, for me, it's all about family. You know, it's all about I have more friends. It seems crazy. I have more friends at the racetrack than I do at home because I spend so much time at the racetrack, I guess. But the beautiful part about it is that I have friends everywhere. You know, you all are all the way up from Canada. I mean, it's probably 15, maybe 17 hours or 16 hours away from me in Atlanta. But, you know, at any time you all need anything at the racetrack, you know, you always can come to my racetrack. I mean, my trailer, get whatever you need that I have. Hell, I even brought Dan a battery. I didn't even know it was his battery. I thought Featherlight was doing me a favor and throwing me some swag or something, man. I had thanks to Trick Tools. We'll say Trick Tools. Y'all actually use a Trick Star. How you like the Trick Star?
Oh, it's great. It really is. It's the mobility of it is the best part because, you know, if you have any issues or anything and you want to restart your bike in the pits, you have to run back up, get your starter cart, and drag it back. And yeah, just being compact and able to just take it on your scooter with you is the best part.
Yeah, keeping it with you is always. We like to
Yeah.
keep eyes all the way to the starting line because you know sometimes you have to have a refire. I mean, you never know when you go up to the starting line. You know, get ready to, you know, two step or whatever, and your bike
Yeah.
fails or cut off before you even can get staged, and that is a hassle running back. But I want to thank my man
That actually
Bruce.
happened to us.
Yeah, I
It
seen
happened
that
to us
happen.
from Dragway
Now,
42. And
huh?
yeah, now our Valdosta did happen. And so we have to give a shout out to Deshaun Wheeler, who always brings my starter to the start line for us now. Be our guardian angel when something goes wrong.
That's my
That's
man.
good.
That's my actual bike builder. If you don't know, Deshaun builds all my equipment, engines, and everything. I love that guy to death. Wheeler Performance. I'm gonna give you a shout out. He keeps my bike rolling, Big Boss bike rolling, and you know,
Yeah.
and ever since I've hooked up with him, I've had enormous amount of success with motorcycle drag racing. He's a fair guy to work with. You know, you get what you pay for. I tell everybody that all the time. You know, but he gives you a
Absolutely.
good product. You know, he absolutely gives you a great product. They look good and they run good. But look here, I really appreciate you all coming. I look forward to seeing you all again at Steel, Alabama. Hopefully, you all make the ride down. It's an eighth of mile event. Like I said again, we're gonna make Steel, Alabama an eighth of mile event, and that'll be taking place June the 16th through the 18th, Alabama International Dragway. And then from there, we'll be going to uh, Dragway 42 again, where we're going to try to put together a big bracket shootout. No pro situation. It'll just be all about the sportsman racers this event and non-points event, but we're going to try to make it a very profitable event for whoever can take the wins home from Dragway 42. And like I said earlier, the second Rockingham race has been moved to Carolina Dragway, and that is in August the 18th through the 20th. I think I'm saying these dates right. I think I'm close. But as always, I want to thank all of our sponsors. We really appreciate them always. They make sure it happens for us. You know, we appreciate their support. It makes it where we can afford to get these tracks, afford to do these live, you know, Man Cup lives and so forth. So once again, thank you all our marketing partners for sticking in there with us, giving us the opportunity to keep expanding our horizons with the new Manufacturers Cup 2.0. And we got Josie and Dan on here. I appreciate y'all taking the time to come on tonight and letting the people get to know you. Fans, come on out to Josie's Dan's Pit. I'm for sure they'll give you an earful of what they got going on over there. Let you see some of that good swag, those trophies they've been winning, and tell you a little bit about Canada. I mean,
Hey,
but y'all only get to race. How
hey,
many months do you get to race in Canada?
End of May to the beginning of October.
So
there it is.
5 months.
Yeah, it's
Five.
May well, I guess it would be your Memorial Day weekend, which just passed. It
Right,
was the week
right.
before is a holiday weekend for us. That's when we start, and the points program at our racetrack is finished up on Labor Day weekend, and then they have a couple events after that, but that's pretty much the end of our season here.
So are
Hey,
y'all
did you
gonna
tell the,
are you points up there as well as try to do your manufacturers cup? Just really got a goal set in mind right now.
No,
No,
we're
we got some Man Cup goals in mind, and our daughter started racing this year. My father's kind of, stepped back from driving his race car, and she's starting to get her feet wet. So we're gonna go out this weekend and We gonna test Josie's new bike a little bit with a smaller motor in it and get her ready for 460 and hang out with the kid for a bit, and then we'll be on our way to Steel.
Hey, tell him we just get that we still got the 32 bikes, 10,000 in the 460, and working on Top Gas to get more money. Y'all
That's right.
class is getting worked on. Something getting worked on right now for
Yeah,
y'all to get a bigger purse on y'all.
I'm not sure we'll ever leave Top Gas. We really enjoy
Yeah.
that class. And that old
The
girl
Top
of ours,
Gas,
she runs pretty good in that class.
Top Gas
Oh,
purse is finna be increased.
that's right. That's right. We're gonna work on something. We're
Nice.
gonna work on incentives for the larger fields of Top Gas. We want to make it
That's
really
right.
nice and lucrative for the racers that race in those classes as well. But once again, thank y'all again. Been on Man Cup Live. You got Josie Brooks and Dan up here. We got Big Boss in Nashville. We got Canada, Atlanta, and Nashville all on one screen.
That's
It's
right.
beautiful.
That's
That's
right.
what technology
Thank
does for
you.
y'all. Love y'all all, and we'll catch y'all at Steel, Alabama, baby. Love y'all. Man Cup Live.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
y'all.
to see y'all.